Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. We got U.S. Terra official investigation. About time. Bitcoin, more downside to come. We're going to get into it. Portugal wins one for crypto investors. You're going to want it. Monetary Authority in Singapore, another pilot with heavy-hitting banks. We'll tell you who. We got Valente in the news. We got Apex and the XRP Ledger in the news. We got ISO20022 and a FedWire delay. Well, let me tell you, we've also got somebody else using ISO20022, and there is no delay. It's going this year. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen. Everything we're talking about here today. Also follow us on TikTok, growing really fast over there at Digital Perspectives, no spaces. Lots of highlight reels you're going to want. $1.365 trillion market cap. We're up 3%. Good morning, everybody. Mid-morning. Good afternoon at this point. It's May 31st, 2022. Bitcoin 31,600 plus. And we see right now Ethereum 1,900 plus. Number 6 spot is Cardano now at 62 cents. 41 cents at the number 7 spot is XRP. The range of price this morning between 40 on the bottom and 43 on the top. Look at what we have here. This is living proof that I am doing what the celebrities and the rich people of the world are doing. This is Montero right here, and he says, I have finally started using my money to invest in art. Well, I'm doing the same thing, but in my own way, and it's with Masterworks, and you can do it too, and it's $20 a share. They've commoditized art. You can buy security shares of the biggest and most renowned artists in the world, and they're getting a similar appreciation on their works anywhere from 12 to 17, 22 plus, 15, 16, 22 again, 13, 12, you name it. They're crushing the S&P 500. And by the way, these things fill up very fast. Look, 99% almost vested. So make sure if you're going to take part in these offerings, don't mess around, because they really do fill up very quickly here. And I love a lot of these works, and I'm invested in so many of these works as well. So make sure you check out the link underneath the video. No minimum to participate and to do like the richest people in the world have been doing for decades upon decades and diversifying your portfolio. Right here, we see Korean prosecutors have reportedly launched an official investigation into Terra USD crash. Well, it's about time. They even said that they are reported to have summoned all employees from Terraform Labs, and one early employee has already testified. So we'll see what comes of that. Meanwhile, Algorand sees a record $20 million inflow of volume. This is big. This came from CoinShares. Don't forget, CoinShares, I believe, was the one that had a really nice price valuation of $6 plus a couple years ago of XRP, I believe it was at the time. Just a side note, stays with me there. I think Daniel Masters is still there. And if this comes to fruition here, what does the rest of the market look like? This is Eggrag Crypto says in January of this year, they stated Bitcoin will hit $10,000 for a bottom here. We're bombarded with DMs and extremely aggressive language. I bet you have been. Influencers were shouting 100K at the time, and they were simply utilizing chart analysis. Today, they state the date and price that in November 1st, 2022 will be the bottom of Bitcoin at $10,720. This is not financial advice from me or them or anyone else, but I tell you, this is something to pay attention to. And I remind you from this tweet that I just covered last week, Scott Minerd from Guggenheim Investment that bought Bitcoin and a lot of it at 20,000, sold it at 40, and said they see the bottom going to 8,000. So the tea leaves are looking the same between these two. We will have to keep an eye on what happens. Another side note, imagine what could happen to the market. What does the market look like if Bitcoin goes to 10 or 8,000 again and touches that as a bottom? What is XRP, XLM, Algo, and all these other things? What's the prices of the rest of the crypto in the space, right? Probably very, very suppressed, right? And crushed, just like Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has dominance over the whole space at this point. Now, with that being said, what really could take it there to bleed the market off that heavily? I happen to believe it could be someone like Gary Gensler suing exchanges and DeFi lending platforms. We will stay tuned to see if he becomes even more of a catalyst for downside in the crypto space. Tether has some of its reserves at obscure Bahama banks. Now, listen, imagine this being a catalyst, right? Imagine Tether collapsing like US Terra did. People say it can't happen, but, hold on to your hat, ladies and gentlemen. Again, private money that has not been regulated, licensed, or insured, or fully backed, I believe is being looked at and certainly approached at this point quietly as digital counterfeit money. And I believe what we're seeing are the behind the curtain techniques to collapse them before putting out the regulation that will say exactly what I'm sharing with you now. I believe that moment is coming very quickly. Portugal's parliament rejects proposals to tax digital currencies. The finance minister, Fernando Medina, told parliament that Portugal needs to fill all gaps that allow certain gains to avoid being taxed. This is the non-sexy question for everyone in crypto around the world. How do you tax it? And in order to know how you tax it, you got to know what it is. India is expected to release a consultation paper on cryptocurrency regulation with input coming via the World Bank and the IMF. But there's really nothing to yield from this at this point, so we will let you know when we get details on it. But I am excited to hear what they come up with because they're looking to find something that works in a global regulatory approach for everyone as well as India. So we'll see what that yields. I have a feeling Bitcoin being legal tender is not going to be a part of that recommendation. Crypto exchanges and firms are increasingly choosing Switzerland. The government practically encourages crypto and blockchain firms. The regulatory system is much easier to work with than many nearby countries in Europe, not to mention the United States. We're going to hear from Rosie Rios in a second. She's going to let you know what's going on. And so is the Monetary Authority of Singapore before we get to Rosie Rios here in a minute. And you're going to want every bit of what she says. The MAS, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, is starting a pilot alongside financial heavyweights DBS, JP Morgan, and MarketNode to explore use cases of digital assets and tokenization in decentralized finance. Now, let me give you this. So I want to give you this first part here. The first stage of Project Guardian will see MAS, which is the Monetary Authority of Singapore, explore DeFi applications, wholesale funding markets through the creation of liquidity pool of tokenized bonds and deposits to carry out borrowing and lending on a public blockchain-based network. So it's okay if the banks do it, but we don't want any of these private lending DeFi platforms doing it. Are we picking up the narrative here? Both DBS and JP Morgan have track records of building digital asset blockchain and technology into their wholesale banking operations, as we know. A year ago, DBS issued a $15 million, which is 11.3 million US, digital bond in a security token offering, STO. JP Morgan's Onyx Digital Assets Network, which uses tokens for trading in fixed income markets, has now completed over $300 billion of transactions since its launch 2 years ago. This is the stuff we really need to pay attention to, because as down as it all feels, look at what has actually been taking place that not many people are aware of. And take a look at this. This is Valente Technologies wins most innovative payment solution provider for the second year running. Well, no surprise there. They just happen to be a Ripple partner. You know it's got to help. It's the second year in a row Valente has won the most innovative payment solutions provider award from the MEA, I guess the MEA Finance Banking Technology Awards. Banks in the Middle East are having to step up the challenge of complying in time with regulatory mandates and build nimble platforms that are able to process instant payments, cross-border payments, ISO20022 messages, and connect to an open banking environment. That's where we are on this. Now, let me just keep on moving now. Again, Valente, Ripple partner. We know that that is huge. Apex Foundation partnership announcement with Ripple says Apex Foundation will build a fully insured bridge from Avalanche to the XRP ledger to go live by the end of August this year. When I go into this, it says here Apex TrueNode, as a service provider will build a fully insured bridge from Avalanche to the XRP ledger to go public by the end of August 2022. Apex Bridge is fully insured by UnoRe, a decentralized insurance and reinsurance platform, and powered by Katoshi's revolutionary bridging technology. Apex Bridge will facilitate a fast and safe transfer of XRP tokens from the XRP ledger and open source, obviously public and decentralized blockchain, to Avalanche and other EVM, Ethereum virtual machine networks. More interoperability, ladies and gentlemen. And take a look at this. This is breaking here. The Fed signaled that it intends to delay the implementation of ISO20022 for the FedWire fund service to sometime in the first quarter of 2025. The Fed said that it would publish additional details on the implementation date, which had originally been scheduled. Now, I got to be honest with you. I mean, I saw this and I felt like, boy, what a way to really deter retail from really trying to participate in the things that they believe will benefit from this kind of move to ISO 20022. I happen to be very cynical when I see this stuff because I've been in this space so long, I don't know. Now, maybe they do wait till 2025, but here's what we also know. This right here, courtesy of DJ Peter Vass, the clearinghouse, TCH, says they are still on schedule for ISO 20022 implementation in November 2023. How about that? Now that keeps me very positive that maybe we even see a reversal for the FedWire. Don't know. Can't know until it actually happens, but I'm always very cynical that they put this projection for a long period out and then all of a sudden, oh, you know what? We're actually ready. We're going to start in the next quarter. We'll see how it happens. This is a reminder. I covered this over the weekend here, and it reveals the ambitions are greater than being Swift replacement, and that came from Ashish Birla, the general manager of RippleNet. He says, I think we have a bigger ambition than replacing Swift. So remember, to move money internationally, there's two components. There's a messaging component, but then you actually have to move the funds. That's not what Swift does. Swift only does the messaging. What was really, really innovative about crypto and RippleNet is that we do both. We've modernized both. So using Swift for messaging is like what's happening, is like WhatsApp using a fax machine today. So we modernized the using APIs. It's a real time, but then we also do the settlement. There's not another solution out there. I'm going to say that again. There's not another solution out there that does both instantly like Ripple. And so our solution is now a lot bigger than what Swift does because they do both. That's not a YouTuber. That's not a podcaster. That's Ashish Birla, the general manager of RippleNet. Now I'm going to play this for you, followed by another clip. This is Rosie Rios, Ripple advisor, board member, laying it down, 43rd treasurer of the United States, telling you what is going on here. Take a listen to this.
So now let's talk about how this impacts Web 3.0 and specifically blockchain technology. And I want to start by saying I am also on the board of Ripple, which is XRP, cryptocurrency.
A currency?
But I want to make something very, very clear. Blockchain is here to stay.
Tell him, Rosie.
The train has left the station. You're going to hear me quoted about that all the time. As far as I'm concerned, whether it's fractional real estate, whether it's art, whether it's NFTs, blockchain is not going away. And so the question is, how do we take advantage of this? So as I mentioned, I was nominated by the president in May of 2009, confirmed by the Senate that summer, and immediately moved my family from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C., where I served as Treasury of the United States, overseeing all currency and coin operations. I was also senior advisor to the Secretary of the Treasury on all matters of community development, so job creation, access to capital, small business lending. And I want to start by saying I am also on the board of Ripple, which is XRP, cryptocurrency. And I want to start by saying I am also on the board of Ripple, which is XRP, cryptocurrency. And yes, it is my name on the lower left-hand side of U.S. money. So out of the approximately $2 trillion of U.S. currency in circulation worldwide, my name is approximately on 1.8 trillion. So I can honestly say that no one has made more money than I have. And I want to start by saying I am also on the board of Ripple, which is XRP, cryptocurrency. But I want to make something very, very clear. Blockchain is here to stay. The train has left the station. You're going to hear me quoted about that all the time.
Absolutely, and quoted for the right reasons. Now you're going to hear her really lay down in this clip. You're going to hear her talk about the executive order and about how she expects to see FSOC, just like we've talked about for over 2 years on this channel, right? And the direction and to mitigate what needs to happen with the other agencies. That should include the SEC as well. You're also going to hear her talk about how she is very careful what she lends her name to. And think of that for a moment. This is the 43rd United States Treasurer with her name on $1.8 trillion worth of money. Do you think she would risk for a second? Does she look scared to you at all while she's standing there that Ripple happens to be in a lawsuit with the SEC? Absolutely not. Because I think this comes down to, as much as it was used for a weapon, it's also, this case is a vetting process and an audit process for the real full-scale use and true destination for Ripple and XRP, the asset. Take a listen to this clip.
So when President Biden signed this executive order to look at digital assets, we hope that the recommendations are going to accomplish several things. One, to encourage regulators to ensure sufficient oversight, to encourage the Financial Stability Oversight Council to identify and mitigate financial risks.
To identify and mitigate financial risks. They can do that without Congress's approval, by the way.
To direct coordinated actions across agencies to mitigate illicit financing and national security risks.
To direct the other agencies after they have done the issuance of their regulations.
Promote safe and affordable financial services, and finally, but not the last thing surely, to explore a U.S. central bank digital currency.
Come on.
Now, I led the Future of Money initiative when I was Treasurer of the United States, so this is a continuation of the work that was done under the Obama administration, and that will continue aggressively throughout this next year in the Biden administration. So cryptocurrency is one of the greatest wealth disruptors and is the next investment frontier for the masses. But in order for there to be a true democratization, their extreme volatility has to be addressed.
Their extreme volatility has to be addressed. Don't forget she just said that now.
In fact, many investors sit on the sidelines because the cryptocurrency market is risky. So we at Unicorn Hunters and Transparent Business as the parent company have identified a need for securitized and transparent cryptos that address this while protecting investors from inflation to help manage risk. I would like to introduce to you Unicoin. It's a next generation coin that will be backed by assets and pay dividends to its holders, and also, again, create an opportunity that otherwise did not exist in this form. Unicoin is a securitized digital asset and leverages equity positions on the companies that are part of Unicorn Hunters. I am very careful about what I promote and what I lend my name to, but this is a product I believe in, and I should also add that I'm also on the board of Transparent Business, which is the parent company of Unicorn Hunters and Unicoin. You will hear a lot more about Unicoin by our president, Silvina Moschini, who is also on the agenda for this conference. So I will leave all the details to her, but I want to make sure that you know, again, this is something that I believe in and something that you will hear much more about around the globe as it really takes off later this year.
And there you have it. So now she's talking about introducing something she's behind as well, Unicoin, which is a securitized digital asset that will allow you to invest in a broad range of products and companies, it sounds like. And this is very exciting because this is something that the 43rd United States Treasurer has her name on, because she understands that this is where the world is moving to. We're not going to stay where we are. She understands it better than any of us. And this is a huge signal to me that everything that we're seeing in this space is headed to an irreversible direction. It is the fourth industrial revolution, and it is going to bring about new opportunities, products, and markets and investment. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Just Rosie Rios giving her digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.